Celebrating Black History Month, sponsored by the U.S. Army, Indiana Funeral Care, and the Indianapolis Urban League.
Ida B. Wells, Alice Dunnigan, and Max Robinson, just a few of the people who helped pave the way for African-American journalists.
Yeah, the Indianapolis Recorder newspaper set the stage locally, giving voices to the local African-American community for 125 years. News 8's multicultural reporter Katira Winfrey joins us now with more. Katira.
Phil and Brooke, the once two-page church bulletin started 30 years after slavery. Somehow, the Indianapolis Recorder stood the test of time, evolving into what you see today. But even with the changes, the passion to give voice to the Black community is the same. To be Black in 1895 for many meant you didn't have a voice. But when ink hit paper, those voices rang loud and clear. The Indianapolis Recorder saw to that.
You gotta think about 1895, our stories weren't told at all.
Founded 30 years after slavery as a two-page church bulletin, it's 125 years old, making it the fourth oldest Black newspaper in America. And now paper editor Oshia Boyd is helping it press on.
I think for most journalists who happen to be Black, you have this kind of desire to work for Black-owned media, to actually do something for your community.
As a Black paper in the 1800s, the founders, George P. Stewart and Will Porter, couldn't get a bank loan, and the paper would experience similar barriers even through the 1980s and early 90s. Yet somehow, the work continued.
So I brought us into the computer age, and I had to use my personal credit, that of myself and my husband, to get a lease approved to provide the Recorder with computers.
Eunice Trotter is a former owner.
This newspaper is the very first.
Whose journalism career has taken her around the country.
You know what my goal was? To tell it like it is. And that's always been my goal, to tell the truth, to tell the stories that need to be told.
She got her start with the Recorder as a teenager in the 60s. Back then, it was the pulse of the Black community. Everything you needed to know, you could find it here.
You're gonna have to envision a time when there were no cell phones, with no computers, you know, your telephone numbers begin with letters.
Seeing the paper still in print 125 years later, she says, is evidence of the grit, stamina, and determination of the founding family.
I truly believe that we are our ancestors.
And those qualities in this century just might keep it alive for many more years. And the paper will hold its century and a quarter celebration at the Madam Walker Legacy Center this summer. Reporting in the studio, I'm Wish TV News 8's multicultural reporter, Katira Winfrey.
It's a good story, Katira. Thank you very much.